All right, Apple says it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to get started. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Thank you all for being. We're gonna start now, guys. Apple says it's 7. We're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for waiting. I know we were all here, but we're not allowed to start until 7 since that is the time that it's advertised for. First thing we're going to do is announcements. Quickly, Montgomery Township Community and Rec Center will host a spring craft fair on March 25th from 11:30 to 3:30. For information, contact the website montcrc.com. Looks like it'll be a great event. And then we're going to move from 13 discussion up and talk about it now.
We're going to start right off with, we have an event that's taking place in our township at the Montgomery Mall. That's also as
Put your microphone on.
Oh.
Top. There we go. Got it.
Okay. So April is Autism Awareness Month, and National Autism Awareness Day is on Sunday, April 2nd. And for many years, I've been in conversation with our own resident, Ben Hartramp, about putting together a program. And we talked about locations, et cetera. And we finally came up with a really great idea of doing it at the Montgomery Mall. This is something that I'm doing kind of on my personal time. And again, Ben is the advocate of autism awareness and acceptance. So we have put together a nice little program, which we've have sponsors and all kinds of inclusive activities like a magic show and crafts and rock painting and balloon twisting and things like that, but also helpful resources with the special ed department from North Penn School District, who's also a sponsor, and also businesses who hire those with autism, and also activity and service providers. So what I'm coming to the township to talk about is whether or not we would be willing to put our name onto as a sponsor in addition. And Ben is here, and he would like to talk a little bit about that and some of the reasons that we would like to have use the opportunity for the location being within our township at the mall, but also some of the resources we could provide, including our communication through social media and so forth, but also if our police department and fire department possibly could participate in it as well. So Ben, you can come forward and talk a little bit about, and then just remember, state your name.
That one's fine.
Yeah, state your name and that you live.
Benjamin Hartramp, Lansdale, Pennsylvania, 105 Bellows Way. Thank you, Beth, for introducing that. Tonight, we're here to talk to get the approval of the Montgomery Township, Montgomery Mall event on April 2nd. And the idea is we want to be including people, and not only just in our community, we want to be including other people with special needs, no matter what's going on. I do public speaking, so I go into schools, companies, and businesses, and I'll be there that day with my book. My mom wrote a book about autism, but I'd love to start doing like police training on autism, like, for example, like how we can bring the community together on police training, like what to do if you interact with a police officer or somebody on the spectrum. And then the fire department, what do you do like if you have a fire in your house or something with someone's nonverbal? How do you handle that situation? I feel like our township needs something like this, and I would love to start doing a groundbreaking on how we can make this more inclusive and how we can bring more families with special needs. And also the apartment complexes. Me and my brother have been working on some apartment complexes. We would love to start working on what do we do when we get older, and what do we do like when our parents are gone. We want to work on something like a complex or something that we could bring families, that knowing that because there's a CUI and there's independent living, but there's none for us in the middle. So I would love to have a conversation about that too. So some ideas I have for the future for Montgomery Township.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And the other thing we wanted to provide to the township as well is is ribbons for people to wear for the month of April. And so we have people that can wear when they're out and about with the community. So it's a signal to those around us that we understand and accept those that are different from and have autism. And so I will provide those. We can pass these along to everyone. And I have a big bag of them here for the police and fire department as well. So I just want to make sure that we're part of that. But I also wanted to get the conversation going within the supervisors, because Carolyn mentioned that to be a sponsor, we have to have approval for such. So, and then if you have any questions about it, that's what we're doing.
What amount are we considering?
There's no money. All we want to do is have the fire and police involved as they can, as they're able. And we want to use our communication like it would be included in township e-blasts and so forth. So it wouldn't be, we're not asking for any money or anything like that. It just really having our name as a sponsor and using our social media and other communication venues and as well.
And then we're doing money for the Eagles Autism
There-
Foundation. I'm sorry.
Right. So there will be a raffle there, and they'll be selling tickets for $1, and then that goes back to the Eagles Autism Foundation. But we're not asking. There's no ask for money. We're just wanting to kind of use this as a publicity resource for because we want to get the word out.
So the only question, and I guess my question's coming over to you, Scott. If they want the dogs there, they are puppies still. Do we have any concern about a nonverbal child coming over who doesn't really understand to ask before he pets the dog or interacts with the dog? That would be my only fear.
And there are some concerns, yes, because of the youth of the dogs. The 2 new dogs are less than a year and a half old. So we have actually Officer English will be attending on behalf of the police department. So we're good to go there. But I'd have to check and see where the dogs are with that. But I do have a genuine concern about that specific.
I mean, I'm happy for us to have police presence there and fire presence and everything. I would just be a little nervous about the dogs, just because they are younger dogs now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone got any help?
Just real quick, I did have the opportunity to speak with Carolyn earlier today, and this sounds great. But one of the things, lawyers just always have to think out loud and think of these issues. And one of the things I'd like to talk through with Carolyn, with your idea, knowing if the board supports this event and wants us to come to yes here, is, insurance. If we're putting our name on this in any way whatsoever, are we going to ask for any kind of additional insured or anything like that? Or we can maybe talk to Divot, our insurance carrier, and see if that's something advisable, just to know. And then also too, this is a great event. It's in our mall. We're promoting it and stuff like that. Just the parameters for this, or future requests, where that line is, and if the board can kind of give staff some guidance where that is. Some of the other townships I represent have like 5 or 6 events that they basically approve publicly to partner with, and it's like on a resolution, and they'll do it at the beginning of the year, and it's like these 5 or 6 things, so it kind of gives staff direction as to what to work in that. So just like thinking out loud of some issues that I had an opportunity to speak to Carolyn about. I don't know if she has any other additional, but we were just talking about this earlier.
So just to tie into what the solicitor said, our concern is always consistency. So if the board wants to put something in place, it would give us parameters that we don't have to keep coming back to you, because there could be other events in the township. I know everybody's sensitive about the mall and its continued operations, but there are other businesses in the township that may turn and, ask why we're not supporting something that they're hosting. And I just want to be sure that if we're going down this road, because in the past, before you were all on the board, the policy was sort of to stay neutral on things. We didn't promote things on our social media pages or our e-news, even if it was another, say, the school district doing something, we stayed content neutral. It was always just township related. So if we're shifting, then I want to shift it, across some of our policies that are already in place in writing and update everything, for the consistency and with the will of the board.
My concern is also the setting of the precedent, which sounds like exactly what we're saying here. What other groups are going to come to ask for this? And if we do change this with parameters, that's one thing. But if we change it and we don't buckle down on everything, then, what else do we allow to occur? That's
Right. I would just say I think their precedent is already there. We've partnered with other plazas. We've done National Night Out, out at Target, and there's been lots of other vendors and people involved. The Korean War Memorial isn't a township project, but it's a project that we support and we've promoted. So I think there's really precedent, where we've partnered in this way to help support, a worthy cause and create awareness for programs in partnership with private entities or other organizations, community organizations. And I think this, autism awareness is something that is definitely worthwhile, and certainly would want to support Ben's endeavor here.
Yeah, as a resident too.
Right. So I think going back to the insurance question, we can support the event by having our police there. Like, they've always been at these events at the mall. So we certainly can have our departments there, but we're not saying that we're sponsoring it. So we haven't needed insurance for that in the past. Is it okay if we're present in that capacity?
I wouldn't. Yeah, if that's what the board wants to do, if they're there and that's what we've done in the past, I guess the thing that not gave me concern, but piqued my interest in the conversation was, our official sponsorship, us promoting it on the social media and everything like that, rather than just having police there. So that would be the link. If something happens, they always go after deep pockets, and the township is one of the deep pockets.
And
so I'm not
promoting a community event, we can certainly do that. If that's what the board's direction is now, we can certainly promote events that we think are for the good of the community, something like that. But again, it's drawing the line as to what that is. And but yeah, to Sean's point, when you talk about a sponsorship, if something happens there, I just want to make sure that we're covered as well. And it's not things that I normally think about. I would normally say, yeah, go. But the dogs did concern me, having young dogs and seeing how they were here that night with even with their handlers, up on their high. I just would feel better if we just had Officer English there and not the dogs.
I'm fine with that. I think that Ben agrees that dogs actually are frightening to a lot of children, especially those with.
I mean, they don't know how to just if you put your hand out.
Correct.
It's really hard to imagine.
Yeah. So I agree with that. Dogs probably aren't a great idea, but I do think that having exposure to both ways for officers to have exposure and understanding, as well as the those with autism, seeing people in uniforms. I would love to see firefighters in their full gear. That is something that they have to see as a an awareness,
or at least have their gear with them,
Have their
because
gear
their
with
gear is a
them, and
little
they kinda-
different than a
right,
police
exactly.
uniform. It's a little,
but to make sure
Yeah.
they understand that this mask is not it's for protection,
Not scary.
and it's not a scary thing just to have them have
and the police have gone through training, and they actually have bags in their vehicles so that when they have an issue, and if there is a child who has autism, they have sensory type of things. I don't know that there's any other police department in the area that has this.
That's why I want to talk about that. I think that is a showcase of the training and exposure that we do at Montgomery Township, that I want
And fire
families-
as well.
and fire, and so
Can't
that
leave fire
oth-
out.
and,
Fire
and
is-
quite honestly, other townships can take note and say, oh, now we're on the record of we're doing these good things. Then that's how good things get traded on and passed on to other municipalities.
I just want to say one thing. There is a group called Culture City. They do police training as well.
Right.
So that's another good organization. There's a couple other. I'll send back the information. So
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
One thing I would just say is it the characterization as a sponsor that seems to be the issue?
Yes.
Okay, so if we change this flyer to say participating exhibitors,
Yeah.
would that
That
settle
probably
that
is a lot
issue?
better.
To be honest, that is really what it is. So I'll just change
Yeah.
it to participating
Okay.
exhibitors.
So,
All good. Let's do
Because
that.
We're not
Done.
sponsor, we're not actually putting
Because
money
we're
in.
not putting,
Right.
none
They're
of
not putting
the,
money
none
in
of them,
yours.
the raffle sponsors are the ones that are putting their.
But I think
goods.
participating exhibitors perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because to
Solution.
your point, we have been at other events that weren't ours, and that's perfect.
Perfect.
So back to the concern about putting it on social media. You still would maybe recommend, unless we put some guidance around.
I just think we need to look at our policies, because I know they were pretty tight when I got here. I mean, even, I remember I was questioning, like, the school district was putting on their annual, spring performance, and I was told, no, we don't do that. And before I took the corner office back there. So, now I do. I feel like if, I can use some latitude, but it's very easy if it's a school district event, even if it's another community in the North Penn region doing something that we're taking part in. But where it gets into some of these other events, I just wanted to, I'm going to need to look at things and probably broaden the language, at least to leave it to my discretion with, and when I need to consult with the board.
but as an exhibitor, like the fire department. could
Totally different.
And the police department, their participation could be promoted in the event, and thereby,
We will
are
put that out,
promoting it.
on the social
Right,
media
so we
saying
can
that,
approach it from
come
that
see
angle.
us at this event. We're going to be there,
Right,
yeah.
with a table.
Right.
Okay,
That's perfect.
Okay.
Great
And this-
solution.
This is different than National Night Out or the Korean War Memorial as well. So it's just, it's a completely different
Absolutely.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. You good with that, Ben?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Great. We don't have to do anything, right? Nope.
Nope. Thank you.
Okay.
Ben, you're
So
free to go. Do you want to go?
go to your school board meeting.
Yeah.
now.
There, you can take that with you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
Ben.
out.
All right, thanks.
So I just had to, Oklahoma City.
No problem. All right, number 4 is public comment. Is there any public comment on any item not listed on the agenda? Okay. Number 5 is the consent agenda. I'm going to move that we approve the consent agenda as presented for the following: the minutes of the February 27th, 2023 board meeting, payment of the bills for March 13th, 2023, and escrow release number 7 for Firefox Phase 2.
I'll second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we're going to have some introductions for some volunteer committee applicants. Carolyn's going to lead us in this one.
Thank you. I'm pleased to advise you that we have 3 residents who have submitted letters of interest to the township along with their resumes to serve on vacancies that we currently have on several of our committees. The first is Linda Block Love. Her husband, John, actually serves on our Ready for 100, so they have a very strong interest, obviously, in the environment and sustainability. She is here this evening to introduce herself to you and answer any questions that you have. You can come up.
Good evening. I'm Linda Block Love. I live at 136 Claremont Drive.
Okay. You wanted to be on EAC?
Yes, I do.
Any particular reason why that's your interest?
Oh my gosh. How much time do we have?
A minute.
45 seconds. I'm a long-term resident in the community. I have kids and I want to leave them a world that they can live in. I see so many opportunities for us to not only partner with neighboring communities on things that their EACs are doing, but also to come up with new initiatives that answer specific needs that we haven't yet tapped into.
Sounds great. Anybody have any other questions?
Oh, you can't make it that easy.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming out. Thanks for your patience. I
Thank
know
you,
you've been
Linda.
waiting for a couple months to come out, and I appreciate that.
Secondly, I have Barb Galante, who is interested in serving on our newly resurged senior committee.
Good evening. My name is Barb Galante. I am a resident or have been a resident in Montgomery Township for 44 years, along with my husband and 3 sons. My one son is a Master Sergeant in the Marine Corps Special Forces stationed in North Carolina. What else do I have to share? I was retired for 4 years. I've been retired for 4 years. I worked for Census as a Human Resource Director, Employee Relations, and Diversity and Inclusion Operate. I think the first time I really became aware that this committee existed was when I was at the Montgomery Township, I think it was called Day Out. And I went to a booth and a very kind lady approached me and offered me information about the committee and said, come on out, learn more. I've been to a couple of meetings already, and I think that I can be valuable in inserting and helping and making sure that the ideas and opinions of this committee are shared among many people of this community. I think the ideas that they have and we will, continue to have will help the community and the seniors that are here.
So let me add on to this because Barb's being really quiet here. She's been coming to all of our meetings, her and her husband for the most part. And look, until tonight, I'm thinking you were a member already, but anyway. So I'm tickled when I saw that you officially, because we've been probing, officially, yeah, we have been joining. So yes, and yes.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you for your time.
And finally, I have Alex Rigney. Alex actually submitted an application listing a number of committees, and we reached out back to him and asked him if he would sort of prioritize for us. And he put down Planning Commission as an alternate, which, as you know, those of you who've served as liaison, is a vital committee for this township, serving as an advisory board for significant land development subdivision applications that come before us. So, Alex.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Alex Rigney. I live at 120 Shady Lane. I just moved to the township about 2 years ago with my wife. We previously lived in Conshohocken for 4 years. Originally, though, we were both from Northeast Philadelphia. I currently work for Penn Medicine. I'm an IT analyst currently. I've built different tools for the doctors and the computer system for them. But my primary interest in the Planning Commission is really from previous experience living in Conshohocken. You probably are aware of the sort of overdevelopment that's happened there. I actually applied to be on their planning commission while I was living there in early 2020, and my application just kind of sat there as the pandemic unraveled. So never really had the opportunity to get involved there with the concerns that I had with the overdevelopment that was happening in that borough at the time. So I thought moving here, this is a great opportunity to get involved as quickly as I could with other commitments, but yeah, I think that the township is just at a very interesting inflection point right now with development that it's been having over the last decade or so. I'm sure that there's big things coming up with, what's the fate of the mall. I know that just had a new buyer to it, so I'm very curious to see where that kind of goes. I think the Planning Commission, from what I've read up on from the different state statutes and information that's available from the township and the county, that it's going to be a crucial job for the Planning Commission to decide what the future, not just the mall, but the overall township is going to look like. I know that there's been some recent topics about Penn Medicine moving here as well, opening up a facility, and just overall, I'm sure there's other development with maybe new housing that might be coming in the area. But at the same time, it's also balancing that with open space. That's I'm sure a huge concern for residents, because when I moved here, I never had this many parks where I lived, so this is certainly a very positive thing. But Planning Commission, I'm sure, has to be a job that's difficult, because you have to balance the needs of having that open space for your residents while also deciding whether you need more housing to bring in more property tax revenue. So it's sort of a balancing act that commission is involved in, and I was very interested in that when I was in Conshohocken, and very interested to be part of that here in the township, because my wife and I plan to be here for the duration of our lives, so we really would like to be a little bit more involved in where we live.
Great. I just have a question for Sean. Sure. Since he works for Penn Medicine, Planning Commission's going to have a few more visits from Penn Medicine. Would he just have to not vote at that meeting?
He's an alternate.
Yeah, it'd be an alternate,
Oh,
so
okay.
I believe, right, I wouldn't have to vote unless I was asked to fill in or something like that, right?
But if he was on, he would just recuse himself like one of you would recuse yourself, and there's a process for that. You do that in writing, you state it publicly, and you don't participate in the deliberations. So
Okay, as long as you're good with that and you
Oh,
won't
yeah.
get your feelings hurt.
Yeah, I actually, to be honest with you, I had no idea there was a facility being open here for only a couple months ago. So they didn't really tell us at Penn about it till a couple months ago. So I was kind of taken by surprise when I saw it on I think the recent agenda for the Planning Commission. So yeah,
Great. Well, they'll be lucky to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. And welcome to Montgomery Township.
Thank
Mhm. So staff is recommending that the board approve all three applicants to their various commissions, and then we will reach out to them with more information about when the committees meet and if there's any other additional information that they need to have sent to them.
Sounds good. Anybody have any questions before we read the motion? All good? I'm going to move to appoint Linda Blocklove to the Environmental Advisory Committee for the remainder of the term, which expires on January 1st, 2024. To appoint Barb Galante to the Senior Committee for the remainder of the term, which expires on January 1st, 2024. And Alex Rigney to the Planning Commission as an alternate for the remainder of the term, which expires on January 1st, 2025. Second,
Second.
any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Welcome and thank you for your volunteer hours. Very much appreciated. All right, so we are moving into public safety now. And Chief Bendig is going to talk about the replacement computers.
Yes. Good evening. In 2023, the police department is scheduled to replace 8 desktop computers in accordance with the replacement schedule advocated by Rich Greer, our Director of Information and Technology for the township. Attached is a quote dated March 1st from Computer Design and Integration LLC, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's purchasing program to provide the requested equipment at a total cost of $14,256.61. A total of $15,000 was included in the 2023 approved final budget under Information Technology Capital Replacement to replace these computers. It is recommended the board approves the awarding the contract for the reference purchases per the 2023 approved final budget.
Any questions? Okay. I'm going to move to award the contract for the purchase of 8 desktop computers from Computer Design and Integration LLC, an authorized vendor under the CoStar's Cooperative Purchase Program at a total cost of $14,256.61 per their quote.
I'll second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Chief has another one. Gonna buy some guns.
Yes. Okay. This year the department proposes replacing the current Glock sidearms that we carry, as well as the shotguns that are secured in the police vehicles. These Glock sidearms were last replaced in 2014. Since that time, these sidearms have been exposed to extreme conditions, beginning to show some general wear and tear that comes with qualifications, training, practice, and thousands of rounds being put through each firearm. The department is proposing replacing these sidearms with nearly similar sidearms, holsters, as well as a sighting system that will significantly improve the accuracy in the event the firearm is discharged. In addition, we are looking to replace shotguns. The shotguns currently available for use were purchased as early as the 1980s, and they vary in different manufacturer and model. So if approved, the purchase would allow us to standardize all the firearms available to officers in the department for use. Attached to our packet is quotes from the following. A quote from December 28th of last year from Alien Gear Holsters to provide the duty holsters at a 15% discount for a total cost of $5,272.11. A January 31st quote from Whitmer Public Safety Group, the lowest of 3 responsible bidders, to provide the replacement shotguns for a total cost of $11,447.60. as well as a bid from March 3rd from Whitmer Public Safety Group, the lowest responsible bidder on the Penn Bid online management system, to provide the replacement sidearms and sighting system for a total cost of $29,687.68. A total of $60,000 was included in the 2023 approved final budget under Police Department capital replacement for purchasing these items. It is recommended that the Board of Supervisors authorize the purchase of this equipment for a total cost of $46,407.39.
I just have might be a silly question. I understand the sidearms, everyone has one. What do we normally, like, what would you use a shotgun for?
It varies in the situation. One of the biggest uses that we, for us right now, is to dispatch deer
Yeah.
involved in collisions and things of that nature. But there is also obviously another use, which we'd use them for tactical situations and such. But that's the foremost use for them right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just
Yeah.
wanted to ask. Anyone have any other questions?
These quotes are still good today. I mean, they're a couple months old.
I
so
know.
You just never know.
I always check because I know that's something. Yes, we are good.
Guys.
We are good to go.
And
I
on
didn't
the Whitmer, the quote from January 31st, there's quantity of 14, then quantity of 2, and everything else is 15. What isn't getting something?
Yeah, I have to check on that. I know that when we discussed that initially, we were going for 15, so I'm not sure what the problem is. I didn't pick it up, but I can look into it.
Okay. The numbers don't match up. So
Yeah, I apologize for that.
It's nicely under budget.
Yes, I was very happy to see that.
Well, if we're okay with it, I'm gonna move to award the
you want?
contract
Well,
for the
it's okay.
purchase of replacement sidearms, shotguns, and accessories from Whitmer Public Safety Group and Allen Holsters at a total cost of $46,407.39 per their quotes.
Second.
Any public comment?
I just have a quick question. Do we need to note that there's latitude to address the discrepancy that Annette brought up?
When I examined the bid, and again, I apologize for the oversight on my part. Again, if that is, I can't do the math. I'm not that good. As I sit here and look at the quote itself, but actually the quote would actually be lower than what we have there. So I would say of no greater than, if that's appropriate.
Okay.
Not to
Okay,
exceed.
to exceed.
Yes.
Okay. So
So there was
we'll
a motion
change
and a
that.
second, right?
We'll say at a total cost not to exceed $46,407.39.
So if whoever made the motion, the second accepts that, then we're good.
I will second the amended motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. We're gonna move over to our Public Works part of the meeting. You ready for all this, Greg?
I believe so, yes.
Go ahead. Might as well get started.
All right.
Trench shoring.
All right, thank you. In 2023, the Public Works Department is scheduled to purchase trench shoring. The trench shoring will provide wall stability to ensure the safety that the staff, while digging trenches for when we do pipe work. It was approved in the 2023 capital investment plan. The Public Works Department attempted to get 3 quotes from qualified and responsible vendors. Documentation has been kept on file indicating that only 2 of the vendors provided quotes. Attached is a quote, which is the lowest of the 2, dated February 7th of 2023 from United Rentals to provide the requested trench shoring at a total cost of $8,450. The equipment meets the specifications prepared by the department. We did have a total of $10,000, which was included in the 2023 capital investment plan for the purchase of trench shoring. So it would be our recommendation that the Board of Supervisors approves the purchase of the trench shoring from United Rentals for a total cost of $8,450 per the 2023 capital investment plan.
I just have to ask, trench shoring, can you explain to us
how it works?
Certainly. So when we dig trenches for like doing pipe work, this would stabilize the side walls so you wouldn't have a collapse. There was just one in Allentown where they weren't using the trench shoring. So this is just to guarantee the safety of the guys in there. The ones that we specified, we need to have it so that we can make a complete box. So you won't have a cave in from either end or either side.
Okay.
I, I see this is from a rental place. I'm assuming we're purchasing this, not renting.
Yes, yes.
How deep is the shoring or how tall are we going with this?
I'd have to look at what we actually specified. Scott was the one who did the specifications on this.
It's a
There's some-
72s. There's a couple of different measurements on the.
Yeah, and with the spanners that they got, it's adjustable.
And how often are we actually digging trenches that require the shoring?
I'm going to say we're going to be doing it more often with the aging infrastructure that we have.
Mhm.
It's something that I know we're going to be using a lot more often than what we have in the past.
We're
We've
handling those
rented it.
in-house.
Yes, we've rented the stuff in the past, and we're just getting to that point where it's not always available, or we have to put the jobs off, and you lose. I'm going to say almost a half a day by the time you go and get it, and you hope they have all the pieces that you need.
And you rent it 2 or 3 times and it's paid for the
Correct.
actual, yeah.
Correct.
What's the life of one of these things?
I think it'll outlive me. I really do. I think this is something that once we put in there, it's going to last.
And someone mentioned about the rental place, so it's new what we're.
It is
buying.
new. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Those were good questions. I'm going to move to approve the purchase of the trench shoring from United Rentals for a total cost of $8,450 per the quote dated February 7th, 2023.
Second.
Any public comment?
Good evening, Vince Tullio, 101 Glasgow Circle, in full disclosure, and that's my wife. Just so the board knows, if you're digging more than 4 feet deep, it's an OSHA law. You have to have trench shoring. They come out, the fines start at $10,000. My question to Greg is, in the bid specifications, these trench boxes are certified OSHA compliant? Was that in the bid spec? Because there's obviously, I know trench shoring, we own stuff. Some is certified, some is OSHA certified. So I want to make sure that the bid specs went out for OSHA certified. And as you know, Greg, you need an OSHA certified ladder to go in the trench box. There is a difference in the ladders. I just want to make sure that we're buying the right equipment, because unfortunately it doesn't happen all the time. But when you have a trench collapse, people die, and it's extremely upsetting. Thank you.
Do you know if that's the case? I guess if not,
I
I can
will
make the
need to look
motion as
into
long
that.
as it is OSHA certified.
Yes.
That would probably be,
This
that's,
one as
yes,
well.
same caveat.
Okay.
Did before. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna, do I need to redo the whole thing again?
Did somebody make a motion a second?
She
Yeah.
did and I seconded.
Okay, so again, we would add to the motion with the caveat that it was certified, that the Public Works Director certified that it's OSHA certified. So that would be the amendment to the motion,
Okay,
the approval, and I believe it's accepted, so.
great. Give me that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And then I guess if it is not OSHA certified,
It comes back.
it'll come back.
Right.
Okay. Excellent. Next thing, we have item number 10, which is the 2023 curb and curb ramp project.
Okay. The township received an open bids utilizing pen bids on March 2nd of 2023 at the township building. Gilmore and Associates, the township engineer, reviewed the 8 bids ranging from $84,588 to $206,870 and is recommending to award the bid to LB Construction Enterprises Incorporated, the lowest responsible bidder, with a bid of $84,588. The recommendation letter and bid tabulation sheets are included in your packet. The board authorized the advertisement of using pen bid at the public meeting on February 13th of 2023. A total of $99,000 was included in the 2023 capital investment plan for the repair and replacement of concrete curbing and handicap ramps. It would be our recommendation to award the bid as recommended to LB Construction Enterprises Incorporated.
Have we ever used LB Construction? I was
We
gonna
have
say, it
not.
didn't sound like a familiar name to me.
We have not. They did have some good reference letters
Okay.
that Gilmore did check up with, and they've been in other townships, other municipalities that have used them, and they didn't have any complaints.
There's a big difference in pricing from their
Huge.
pricing too.
They're based out of Spring House.
So are
Guy's
they,
name is Bruno.
do they have any issues with then changing the quote, not the quote, but the doing the estimates, and now they're, oh, well, we can't do it for that, and any kind of issues that have come up with that? Any
A change order.
change orders?
A
that-
change order would only be brought to this board if it was because of an unforeseen condition out at the job site. If they put a bid in for this, we expect them to be able to do the work, as specified on pen bid, which is one of the benefits of putting it there. Because if a question comes up on the bid, we answer it, all vendors are able to see it. So unless they were to dig something and find out that there's substandard base, which they couldn't have known about, we will not be bringing a change order in. They might try to submit one to us, but we would never bring it to the board. We would turn it over to the solicitor instead.
And I believe I was asked to look into this briefly by the engineer, just because there was a minor discrepancy that was to the benefit of the township for the bid award. So we have language like that covers. But I believe the positive reviews came from Tallaminson or something like that, like a close municipality. I believe that's what they said. I believe that's what Jim said. So
All right.
that they worked with them extensively.
Going through the unit prices, looking at some of them are all over the place, so
They're all-
it's
They
weird.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were quite a bit lower on their pricing for the curb, which was quite a bit lower. Everything else sort of matched up with our previous contractor, but that was one of the big differences.
I guess we're gonna trust our experts over at Gilmore.
We're definitely going to stay on top of them and make sure
Okay.
everything's correct.
Okay. I'll move to award the contract for the 2023 curb and curb ramp project to LB Construction Enterprises, Inc., the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $84,588 per the recommendation of Gilmore and Associates Township Engineer.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then the last thing, oh no, it's not the last thing. In-place road paving projects.
Okay. The township received an open bid utilizing pen bids on March 2nd, 2023 at the township building. Gilmore and Associates, the township engineer, reviewed the 5 bids ranging from $1,287,705.34 to $1,663,892.00, and is recommending award the bid to James D. Morrissey Incorporated, the lowest responsible bidder, with a bid of $1,287,705.34. The recommendation letter and bid tabulation sheets are included in your packet. The board authorized the advertisement of the bid at its public meeting on February 13th of 2023. A total of $1,666,637 was included in the 2023 capital investment plan for the milling and paving of the township roads. So it would be our recommendation to award the bid as recommended to James D. Morrissey Incorporated.
Anybody have any questions?
I do. I'd like to know what the review and approval processes for the finished work product. And I am saying that because when I travel on Plymouth Road, I know James D. Morrissey did that work, and the inlets on Plymouth Road are terrible. It's the dip and your car feels like it's going to go over. And I personally, if I was in Plymouth, I would not have wanted that approved.
We pay Gilmore and Associates to be out there doing inspections in real time. And we would not present again payment to the board if we were not satisfied with the work. We are not given a whole lot of latitude in terms of lowest responsible bidder. And unless someone formally put an action against them because of a paving project, I would have a hard time not accepting them as lowest responsible bidder. They did do our paving last year. Stump Road is on the list this year. So we have spoken to them about what we expect, meaning Gilmore, in terms of traffic control and the like, and certainly the quality of the work that's done.
Great. Just a concern that I have with what I've driven on.
Understood.
And we also do the inspections as well. We'll go out and we'll make sure everything's up to our standards. So
Our road foreman is
yes,
he is a stickler, and it's all in a good way.
yes.
Good.
All right. I'm going to move to award the contract for the 2023 in-place paving project to James D. Morrissey, the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $1,287,705.34 per the recommendation of Gilmore and Associates Township Engineer.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Last thing Greg has is the HVAC unit for the dogs.
That's
Keep
correct.
them comfortable and happy.
That's correct. In 2023, the Public Works Department is scheduled to purchase a new HVAC unit for the canine kennel. The HVAC unit in the kennel is original to the building and is failing. Therefore, we are recommending replacement and was approved in the 2023 capital investment plan. The Public Works Department obtained 3 quotes from qualified and responsible vendors, and documentation has been kept on file indicating that Scatton's Heating and Cooling Incorporated provided us with the lowest quote dated February 14th of 2023 for a total cost of $9,287. A total of $10,000 was included in the 2023 capital investment plan for the replacement of the failing HVAC unit. It would be our recommendation that the Board of Supervisors approve the purchase of the replacement of the HVAC unit for the canine kennel from Scatton's Heating and Cooling Incorporated for a total cost of $9,287 per the 2023 capital investment plan.
At least it's a nice local company again, so I like to
Yes.
see that. Anybody have any questions? Going to move to approve the purchase of the replacement HVAC unit for the canine kennel from Scatton's Heating and Cooling Incorporated for a total cost of $9,287 per the quote dated February 14th, 2023.
Second.
Any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. That's everything for Public Works.
I could just jump back for a minute regarding the OSHA for the trench shoring. OSHA doesn't cover employees of state and local government, except where the state has adopted its own workplace safety and health program. So Pennsylvania is not among the 20 states that have one. So I'm not sure we can go back and insist that it's OSHA, but we certainly, we want to ensure the safety of our workers. But I just wanted to make sure the board is aware that we're exempt from OSHA requirements.
Thank you for that quick research. No business.
Also, additionally, I'm getting real-time information. OSHA does not test, approve, certify, or endorse any equipment, product, or procedure, including machine design and risk assessment techniques. That's directly from their site.
Okay.
My understanding, and we've done numerous pipe jobs, my understanding, the only person that's not covered by OSHA is the tapping companies. I could be mistaken. This is a question for Sean. what's the liability exposure to the township if we buy a sub-quality box and someone gets hurt because of a cave-in?
Well, obviously, we'll speak to our insurance carrier about those concerns whatsoever. Obviously, we're never going to recommend that we buy something sub-quality. And if we do so knowingly, that of course could be problematic, but we'll look into all this and talk to our insurance carrier.
Absolutely. I know Greg's on top of it, and I know we spend money in the township on things that are necessary. I'm not picking on you, Greg, but we spent a couple $1 million on trucks. To spend another $1,000 or $2,000 to get a life safety issue to keep people safe in the hole from someone who does it for a living is pennies. You know that.
Yeah. And this particular trench shoring is shoring that we have rented in the past.
From
It's
ShoreQuip or
from United Rentals.
All right.
Yes. Yeah. We have rented the same thing when we've needed it in the past.
Okay.
So I know we have used this particular set of trench shoring.
Because as you know, we get all the same construction magazines. There's big difference in price. And when you read the fine print, we don't have a tag on this one that says, oh, this is OSHA certified for trench work. We have a trench box, but it's not OSHA certified.
And that also goes back to one of my questions as well is, would they be able to rent something that isn't necessarily
I would think
up to the
United Rentals,
standards?
as big as they are, they're only going to rent things that are certified. It's just making sure the quote is the same.
Yep.
You understand my safety
Yep. Oh
concern,
yeah.
right?
I totally understand. That's why we're coming forward asking for trench shoring.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate the concern. We'll check with Divot.
Yeah, I just want to assure the board, we have a very good experience mod rating for our workers' comp insurance. We have an annual assessment from Divot, so we take the safety of all of our employees very seriously in all departments, evidenced by the request for firearms, evidenced by the request for new vehicles that they can be out there driving safely. So we will certainly follow up on it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're done old business. We have no new business. Anybody have anything else? I'm gonna move to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.